are going to be spawning in. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our blue Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the German Protoss, the red Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is ForJumy. Is it worth it for 11 workers? It was 4 Hellions, right? It was 4 Hellions, a handful of Marines. I would have said it was probably worth it for the 11 workers if it wasn't for losing the medevac. Losing the medevac was pretty brutal. That was a rough loss. But it wasn't a bad start. It was not a bad start for us, for Spirit, in that last game against Showtime. Again, unfortunately, it was, again, Showtime's constant harassment and movements and his multitasking that did eventually pull Spirit apart, which was impressive. Really impressive stuff. Again, like, it was really cool to see Showtime still make use of those Dark Templar, despite the fact that we had detection. We had turrets. Like, turrets were up and running. Despite that, we still killed SCVs, we killed tanks, forced out additional scans. It was really impressive to see how Showtime was able to make the most out of all of his units. But here we go, we're getting to a different matchup, and so far we have a 2-gate opener out of SKillous, 2-gate opener out of ForJumy. ForJumy going to be hiding this probe here towards the north, and he is going for a fake proxy pylon. So a little bit of mind games. Here out of ForJumy. Now, with this pylon being hidden, SKillous is going to scout. He's going to confirm, hold up, your second pylon is missing. It is not where it should be. And he may believe that it's an all-in, but he also knows that maybe it isn't. So that's going to be in the back of his mind. And SKillous should be bringing out a second probe, just to scout on the other side of the map. Meanwhile, SKillous does go for a second pylon here in his main. Everything is looking standard from our blue Protoss. Double Stalker from ForJumy. Double Stalker out of SKillous. Yeah, he is scouting. He is checking for that pylon. Ooh, and yeah, we have a Robo Opener. So SKillous, he's preparing for an all-in. Robo Openers are they're a very safe way to play. Very safe way to open up. They grant you access to early immortals, so you can shut down all-ins. Meanwhile, ForJumy should be expanding. But where are we going? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Okay. Let's go. So both ForJumy and SKillous have gone for Robo Openers. We do see SKillous scouring the edges of the map. You can see here he has a Stalker on the left. He has a probe here towards the left-hand side as well. And a probe on the, a Stalker on the right. SKillous, he is looking for the proxy pylon. He is looking for the all-in. And he's preparing for his own. That's going to be 3 gateways on 1 base. SKillous is not expanding, but neither is ForJumy. Oh, wait, no, sorry, he is. Only 2 gates. Ooh, interesting dynamic. Okay, so ForJumy goes for a 2-gate opener into a robo, into an expansion. SKillous, 1 base all in. That's a 3rd gateway. He's going for a prism first, and he's going to be sending it across the map. Now, because ForJumy opened up robo, if he starts up an immortal, he should be okay. Like, he is pretty well set up here, production-wise, to defend this natural. To defend against this all-in. Like, ForJumy, he has the tools to defend. But, what about the execution? Can he pull off this defense? Because SKillous will be sending a meanwhile Adepts shade in. The Adepts get into the main base, and ForJumy, he confirms the all-in. He sees all 3 gateways, he sees the lack of expansion, probes are going to be going down, and ForJumy's preparing. There are so many Stalkers. 8 Stalkers here for SKillous. Shield battery is on the way. It's late! The shield battery is delayed. We focus on the Stalkers one after the other. The Immortal is now coming down. But is it too late? Is it in time? As the Immortal does arrive, and SKillous has to respect it. Shield battery does barely finish in time. 2nd shield battery in production. Sentry's on the way. All ForJumy has to do is survive. He has to defend, but that's easier said than done. As SKillous is all in. We're going to be dropping into the main. No shield battery in the main base. The force fields! Oh, does slice up the army. And ForJumy is being pulled apart. Forced to recall down to the low ground. SKillous does pull back. Recalls on cooldown, which means if SKillous goes for the same maneuver, then there's no answer for ForJumy. But he's out of energy. Doesn't have another force field. But again, that was a clutch recall. If not for that, then ForJumy may have lost his natural. There it is. Another sentry has arrived. SKillous is going for that force field again. Does have the observer in position. ForJumy. He gets caught out. Force fields around the Immortal. Not a part of this. And we rotate to the low ground. The juggling, though. There we go. The counter prism micro. ForJumy, he keeps up. So far, good control here out of our red Protoss. He is keeping up with the movement of SKillous. SKillous trying to be cheeky, but unable to. Observer does fall. Oh, the Adepts, they do threaten to shade into the main base. Force field the ramp once again. Prism takes a lot of hits. Adepts, they focus on as many probes as they can. And we take control of the natural. Shield batteries are depowered. And this may just be too much. Yeah, the natural base is going to be going down, and SKillous is expanding. It's going to be 11 probes falling. Ay, ay, ay. How do we deal with this? Force fields once again, forcing back that Immortal. Trapping the Immortal even, but juggling. ForJumy keeping his units alive, but he won't keep his natural alive. That will be a kill. At the same time, there are Adepts across the map. There are Adepts in the main base. Probes are falling for everyone. 16 probes go down. SKillous defends. And SKillous, he's breaking into the main as well. Like ForJumy, he had what he needed to hold on to survive. But he's down to 14 probes. He does have both Immortals alive, though. Again, really good micro out of ForJumy. Is it enough? But the Prism. Prism goes down. No more juggling. The Immortal falls one after the other. At the same time, ForJumy diving on the War Prism as well. But he's losing everything. Losing everything in the process. And SKillous, he has far too much left over. It's going to be 21 dead probes. This is all we have left. 2 Stalkers here for ForJumy. Chasing down that War Prism. Doesn't get it in the end. And behind this, SKillous, he's on 2 bases. He's reinforcing across the map with more Adepts. Prism can slip into the main. GG gets called. All the G's. And SKillous will take game number 1. GG. And a very chaotic start to the game, and that's what we want. That's what we want out of our PvPs. We want things to get crazy, get chaotic. Again, we had a really solid start for ForJumy, getting into his natural, getting into his robo production. His initial shield battery was delayed though, and he did lose a lot of ground early on. Lost a lot of Stalkers, and things did snowball a little bit out of control. Really nice movement out of SKillous, and ForJumy had a hard time keeping up with him, especially when it came to those force fields. The force fields on the ramps, the constant force fields, was too much for ForJumy to keep up with, and too much to handle. GG. And with that, SKillous does take a lead, and we'll see if ForJumy can bring it back, can force the ace match. Can we go the distance? Here we go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have the German Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Team Little Fairy. Looking to fight back, looking to force that ace match. It is ForJumy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player, representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is SKillous. Am I crazy? Did they switch colors? I could be crazy. I could be losing it. It's fine. As for now, we're just getting into our openers. We saw ForJumy in game 1 fake out a proxy, fake out cheese, and go for a more economic opener. And we saw SKillous just be like, yo, if you're going to proxy me, I'm just going to all in. And SKillous was able to come out on top. We'll see how that dynamic does change on Alcyone. This is a much larger map compared to Oceanborn. Does lead to longer games as a result. But we'll see. That won't stop a Protoss from all in. Catching up in the chat. Big fan already, a great set of games on the channel. Keep up the great work. Oh, thank you, Curtis. Thank you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate the kind words. Always, always. here we go. SKillous is moving out. Going for a scout across the map. Again, so far, pretty standard openers. This time, ForJumy does throw down his second pylon in the main. Likewise, so does SKillous. So there is no hidden pylon, there's no hidden tech. There's no early game shenanigans. Not yet. Not yet. As both players are just going to be getting a read on each other, and it looks like both players should be expanding as well. I say should be. From here, we can go for faster tech. We can go for a Robo Opener again, or a Twilight Council. But it looks like we want to expand. As it's just being as annoying as possible here. Again, we have eyes on our first couple of units. Stalker has been revealed. It's going to be double Stalker from ForJumy, double Stalker out of SKillous, but we're following it up with double Adept. So with double Adept, ForJumy is going to be looking for some economic damage. He's going to be looking to shade past the army of his opponent and into a mineral line. There's the expand from SKillous. Really nice control here from our players. Using those steam vents to avoid shots. But ForJumy does lose ground. He's going to be forced back. Meanwhile, SKillous, he does miss the Adepts. And behind this, double Sentry. So Sentry-based openers are really powerful here in PvP because they give you so much scouting information. But army-wise, they're not ideal. And these Adepts, they are on the way. Here we go. SKillous going to be reinforcing with his Stalkers. He's going to take control of the low ground. ForJumy does have his own third Stalker and Sentry on the way, so he should be able to force this back eventually. But there's a shading in. Oh, but we do wall off. Good reaction out of SKillous. Takes down a pylon. Pushing into the main. Good force field. We just slice up the army. And ForJumy is going to be punished. Stalker's going to be going down. ForJumy will have the better trade. And he will take control of his own natural. At the same time, across the map, the Adepts, they shade in. They get trapped. Lose one. So ForJumy, he does clean up back at home, but he does lose an Adept. Really brutal moment there for ForJumy. And we have our first tech of choice. It is going to be a Twilight Council out of SKillous, likewise a Twilight Council out of ForJumy. Both players working towards Blink, but ForJumy spicing it up here, going for a Dark Shrine. DTs are on the way. Now, DTs in PvP can be really scary. It can be quite common for a Protoss player to delay their Robo for quite some time, and if we don't get a Robo in time, Dark Templar can just end the game. Like, straight up, they can just walk in and then GG. Like, it happens every now and then. It's unfortunate, but it is something that does occur in PvP, where if there is zero detection, the game just ends. We do have the probe coming in from the left-hand side. Adept's going to be threading a shade into the natural. We should set up a pylon. ForJumy taking his third. Oh, the probe is spotted, though. It will be shut down. So, good map control here out of SKillous. Oh, Hallucination is on the way. Big scout here from our red Protoss player. Robo is in production as well. We will have detection eventually. Hallucination moves out. Adepts a shade in. And the Hallucination will confirm that Dark Shrine. So these DTs shouldn't get much damage done. The Hallucination sees everything. We get 3 probes across the map, but overall SKillous is looking good here. Now the downside is that SKillous' third base is a little bit delayed compared to ForJumy. We have 1 Dark Templar, and again, the Dark Shrine was scattered, so this DT shouldn't really get much done. It's only 1. Yeah, the Observer is already on the way. Do thread and a dive will be pulled back, and the game will continue. So that was a pretty big investment from ForJumy, which didn't really come to fruition. Stalker's going to be trading. No one losing anything yet. Charge is on the way, so it looks like ForJumy is going for a very gateway-centric composition, which means very few Robo units, like no Disruptors, no Immortals. As we do dive on top of that Dark Templar. We try to catch it, but unable to. It does slip away. And ForJumy has quite a worker lead. Again, this third base was significantly faster than that of his opponents, and ForJumy, he's up 10 workers. Yeah. It's not like our players have been losing too many workers. That's not the case. It's just the faster expansion and the better economy. The better macro there from ForJumy. And this can translate into a larger army. Fourth base is on the way. ForJumy so quick to expand. Getting both the faster third and the faster fourth. Hallucination will confirm that. Stalkers coming in. Coming from the left-hand side. So far they're deflected. Dark Templar finally goes down. ForJumy, he's not able to really get in, but he didn't need to. His goal here was to contain his opponent. Like ForJumy, he's already ahead. He's already ahead in workers. Getting a much larger army at this point. Robo is on the way. It's the first Robo ForJumy. We spoke about it. Players do sometimes delay their Robos, and if there was a DT open from SKillous, then ForJumy would have been in a lot of trouble. But he's building up his Stalker count. SKillous does take control of the center of the map. Lings on board, runs into the army of ForJumy. Again, 5 more seconds and SKillous will catch up in the upgrades. Lasua's on the way, slightly faster for our blue Protoss. At the same time, a Zealot counterattack being set up here to deny the fourth base. Good setup here from ForJumy. From Jumy even. I think it's easier saying that. We do force a cancel. A big denial. SKillous coming in. Does take down a pylon, but we can't push up this ramp. And ForJumy with the better engage. Zealot's going to be tanking a lot of shots. Despite that SKillous, he dives on top of the army, goes to the fourth flank. In the shield battery, we have an overcharge. Looking at the army, SKillous does have the greater Stalker count. But at the same time, Zealous, they get in. They denied the fourth base and they get into the mineral line. Probes are going down. ForJumy already had the better economy. Now even greater. He's taking the gold. We don't even need it. ForJumy is up 2 bases. That could kill him. We need an army. Here we go. Coming in from the right-hand side. Zealous are being distracted here at the natural. But there are so many Stalkers for SKillous. Does have the Stalker lead. Forcing back the army of ForJumy. At the same time, these Zealots are wreaking havoc in the natural. We have a DT. We have a Dark Templar. Do we have detection? Uh-oh. No detection here for the Red Protoss. Throughout all this, this one Dark Templar going ham, and we have more DTs on the way. There we go. The Robo is depowered. Good blinks overall here from ForJumy. Again, that one Dark Templar going ham here with 8 kills. Observer does finally arrive. Boys are being pulled. 16 probes go down. ForJumy, fun fact, still ahead. Still ahead in workers after losing 16 probes. But the Zealots get in. The Zealots do peel off. They do get into the main base. SKillous rotating around. SKillous, he's pretty all in. Like, the Red Protoss is all in at this point. It's all or nothing. We need to end the game with this push. The goal base was cancelled. Thankfully. ForJumy, he needs as much as he can get. Good blinks. Yeah, solid blinks here out of Jumy. Out trading his opponent. DT's coming in. Well, we have detection. But again, ForJumy, he has the economy. SKillous doesn't, and he's being forced back. The Zealots in the main base got cleaned up. We have Stealths across the map. DTs across the map. No mining. SKillous has nothing back at home. And he is being forced back. Stalkers are being bled out here in the retreat. That one Dark Templar going ham at the Nexus. SKillous has a cannon that is natural. He's got 41 probes. Meanwhile, ForJumy happily mining on 4 bases. Resaturating. Up to 61 probes. He's up 20 workers compared to his opponent. And this Nexus is so low. We're going to be able to... We can finish it off. We can just finish it off here. As the third base does fall. SKillous trying to go for a backstab with his own prism, but he can even defend back at home. We have +2. ForJumy with a massive upgrade advantage. +3 is on the way. Boys are being pulled. Workers that SKillous cannot afford to lose. SKillous doing what he can across the map. Dark Shrine is on the way. The moment of desperation. The Invisible Man. I mean, they're pretty good. But alas, it looks like ForJumy, he has too much. There's nothing here at home to defend. Like, where's the shield battery? No shield battery, no overcharge. We have a handful of Stalkers. SKillous reinforcing across the map with Dark Templar. Let's go. Going for some DT harass. They're waddling in, but we have cannons to defend. We have plenty of cannons here, and ForJumy, he breaks that natural. GG gets called, and we are going to the ace match. GG. Oh my god. ForJumy having such a greedy approach to this Protoss versus Protoss. Again, ForJumy, he was so quick to take his 3rd, so quick to take the 4th, and so quick to take the 5th as well. Thankfully, he did cancel the 5th base. Otherwise, I do think it would have killed him. Like, we just couldn't really afford to invest there just because SKillous was so all in. And it wasn't just that ForJumy, of course, was just so quick to expand and so quick to focus on his probe production. But the harass across the map, right? He was killing so many probes with his Zealot run-bys, with his DTs as well. Just forcing the all-in out of SKillous. And with that, we have an ace match. We have a game 3. Let's go. We are going the distance. And we'll see how this story ends. We'll see whether this goes the way of one Protoss or the other. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the German Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Team Little Fairy, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is ForJumy. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Protoss player, representing Team Liquid, being forced into the ace match. It is SKillous. Here we go. We are getting into that ace match, and how will this story end? So far, everything is looking as it should, but we are on Golden Aura. Again, the rush distance by ground on Golden Aura, a little bit shorter here than Alkyone, for example. So we can be quite aggressive, we can be quite assertive. In saying that, though, this 3-base setup is very defendable. It's a very defendable 3-base setup here, just because of how close together they are, how compact these bases are, the choke point or the point of elevation, the ramp coming into the natural, into the 3rd. Can be very difficult to force the issue, but we'll see, because once again, ForJumy going for a fake proxy pylon. The mind games, Bob. The mind games. Pylon has been thrown down. We will not commit with this, but SKillous doesn't know. For all he knows, it could be a proxy. It could be an all-in. So ForJumy just trying to get into the mind of SKillous and trying to make him second-guess himself and respond inefficiently. Upon seeing this, SKillous will eventually be sending out another, or will be eventually fanning out his Stalker, sending out another probe, and scouting the edges of the map. And I'm getting deja vu from game 1. This could just lead into SKillous going for a robo opener. We'll see. For now, the second pylon has been confirmed by ForJumy, so he knows that there is no proxy from his opponents. Third pylon has been thrown down. SKillous going for a sentry opener. Okay. Now, with this sentry-based opener, it does mean that his units early on are that much weaker. He doesn't have a lot of firepower, but what he does have as he's scouting is hallucinations. These hallucinated phoenixes, they can get across the map very quickly, and they can confirm whether or not it is an all-in. As we have our expansion, SKillous, no fear, going 2-gate opener into an expand. Bold move out of SKillous. He calls ForJumy's bluff, and he calls well. So a really strong start here for SKillous, believing that he is safe to expand, and he's correct. Again, SKillous, he didn't scout that pylon, but again, it happened before. It could happen again. We do throw down the force field. One Stalker goes down. Ooh, trading 1 for 1 so far. Sentry does fall as well. Pretty even trades overall. Hallucination dives in. We do get eyes on the Twilight Council as well as the expansion. So SKillous should be feeling pretty good about this. SKillous, he... Oh my god. SKillous, he has a faster expansion. He's ahead in the economy. But with this Twilight Council opener, we have Charge on the way, not Blink, and we are going for a proxy Dark Shrine. Let's go. Actually making use of that pylon. Very cheeky here from ForJumy. And SKillous is in the dark. Now, this is really risky. Remember, SKillous did open Robo the last time this happened. We're going for a DT. Oh my god. Great minds think alike. Both players go for Dark Templar. This can get very chaotic. If no one throws down any detection, this can get... There we go. Robo is on the way for SKillous. Pylon is thrown down. ForJumy, the Dark Shrine is about to finish. We'll see how much damage he can get done before there is detection. Likewise, we spoke about this last game. I mentioned and I brought up how ForJumy did delay his Robo for so long, but there it is. Robo is also on the way. We will have observers. We will have detection. Very good. The game will progress. Meanwhile, both players are, again, establishing their expansions. Hallucination comes in. Ooh, Proxy Pylon was scouted. Dark Templar are also spotted as well. So big scout from SKillous. DTs are going to be rolling in. Now, to be fair, there's a window. Robo finishes, but there's still no Observer. Observer still has to be chronoed out, and that means that we can still get damage done. Oh, he sees! Oh, the Force Field does lock the Dark Templar out of the main base. Solid Force Fields there. From SKillous, locking the DTs away from everything. Oh my god, buying so much time for the Observer. The Observer does come out. Likewise, we do have... Oh, hello there. This is awkward. SKillous has now found the proxy with his own proxy pylon, and he was about to warp in some DTs. Bit awkward. Meanwhile, Observer's on the way, so ForJumy should be ready for this as well. Oh my god, SKillous doubling down. Investing into Shadow Stride. Now, I kind of like this as the DTs are still trying to find some value here. SKillous' Dark Shrine hasn't been scouted, so even though SKillous has not warped in Dark Templar, they can get a lot done here with this Shadow Stride timing because they haven't been scouted. Pylon is going to fall. SKillous taking his third base. Likewise, so is ForJumy. The game is going to settle for a moment here, but we have to try to catch up with what's been going on. So, remember, ForJumy, oh, he cancelled. Oh, never mind. I was going to say that he finished Charge, but no, he cancelled Charge, went into Blink. We have Immortals being produced. We're trying to just settle down and stabilize. I think both players are just looking to establish their third bases. The game is going to settle from here. SKillous, ForJumy does have that Prism on the way, and that will help when it comes to his aggression. He can harass across the map. We'll see how hard he does commit. +1 is on the way, saturating the third base. Shadow Stride is about to finish. And Jumy still has not seen the main. Still has no idea. Got some Dark Templar moving out. Ooh, fourth base soon to be taken here. Once again, Jimmy being very greedy. Let's go. Before his third is even fully saturated, the fourth is on the way. I believe that was seen by the hallucination. SKillous, he did see the probe, so he should be aware. He's soon to take his own fourth. Meanwhile, here comes that Prism into the main base with 4 Dark Templar. They're making their way across the map. ForJumy moving out with his main army. His goal here is to try to distract his opponent and slip in with DTs. We'll see if he can. Oh, he comes in first with the Dark Templar. Does spot that Dark Shrine. Gets a couple of units. Does get 2 Stalkers, not bad, but the Observer does come out. At the same time, we dive onto the main army. we're in position. Two Immortals, shield battery overcharge. There's no breaking this. Instead, ForJumy, he rotates around, gets eyes on the expansion. Doesn't commit either. Meanwhile, across the map, all the DTs, we're getting in. We have Dark Templar at the third base, in the main as well, and we are getting damage done. Probes are falling left and right. Cannons are being killed. Cannons are being denied. And so much lost mining time. Again, the Shadow Strike DT is superior here. Getting 7 worker kills, and we still haven't dealt with this. We depower some gateways. Gateways are being depowered. Detection has arrived. DT does get out. Oh, I spoke too soon. Attempted to get out. But that was pretty good. It wasn't just 8 worker kills. It was depowering some of the production. It was also forcing a lot of lost mining time. And with that, SKillous has a massive lead. He's up 10 workers. He's got 70 probes compared to the 60 of ForJumy. When it comes to the quality of the armies, upgrade-wise, we're pretty even. Blink is done for ForJumy. Blink, was heavily delayed for SKillous, but he makes up for that with Archons, with Chargelets, with Immortals. So SKillous, because he doesn't have Blink, he actually can't move out across the map. He's stuck at home, but he has such a booming economy, and that is translated with a larger army as well. He's come back in. On the cannon, up! Cannons is full, but we have detection. We go for a massive warp in into the main. Overcharge is popped. Massive Zealot warp in, distracting his opponent. At the same time, ForJumy, he wants that third. Zealots are gaining ground. They shut down the Stalkers. Stalkers are being cleaned up. At the same time, SKillous, he's in position. He does read his opponent. We have DTs to defend and no detection of ForJumy. See what I did there? No detection. SKillous does defend. He maintains his worker lead. He's still on 69 probes. Nice. ForJumy doing what he can. Does find an Archon. Archon does get picked off, but we cannot engage with the main army. ForJumy being forced back, taking the gold. We spoke about the greed of ForJumy in PvP. Trying to get away with it. But the main army, here we go. SKillous is pushing out. Blink is done. +2 as well. As it's finishing up in 5 seconds. And SKillous, he's had enough defending. It's now time to push. Now time to go for a massive counterattack. ForJumy gonna try to get it engaged. Coming in from behind. Gets on top of the prism. Big snipe. Big snipe from Jumy. The Zealots, they do catch an Immortal though. Yeah, and SKillous, he's breaking through again. He just has far too much, even without reinforcements, even without the War Prism. SKillous, he has more than enough to just overpower the army of ForJumy. The force field Stalkers are trickling on in, but it's not going to be enough. And SKillous, he has broken this base. He's broken the 4th. The gold is getting up and running, but it doesn't even matter. Not anymore. Zealots, they charge on top of the army. We have a desperate warp to defend. Well, this is not going to be enough. The base will fall. We ignore the base here. We just go straight for the kill. We go straight for the 3rd. Depowering the cannon. Depowering the gateway. There are 3 Stalkers left. GG gets called. Well played. And SKillous will take the series 2-1. GG. A wild game. GG, well played. Dark Templars from both ends, from both sides. Probes going down, and once again we had ForJumy attempting to be a little bit more economic, a little bit more greedy, but wasn't able to make full use of that. We had, of course, SKillous doing a great job at shutting down the Dark Templar aggression from ForJumy, and also getting into his own and wreaking havoc, getting a lot of damage done, able to keep up with the economy of his opponents, and eventually snowball out of control. Really solid play out of SKillous here in the ace match, and with that he does take the series. But a shout out to ForJumy. Did make a series out of it. Did force SKillous to go to the ace match, so a solid performance from our German Protoss player, as SKillous came in as the favorite player and does take it in the end. We'll get an even better score, better results, and with that, we have one series left. We have one series left, a matchup that we have not casted at all in this group. For the first time, a Terran versus Zerg. Let's go.